What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the WWE Raw on Netflix podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valera. On today's episode, we are going to be breaking down episode 3 of WWE Raw on Netflix. Very excited. We have a big show to talk about today. Obviously, we have the Royal Rumble right around the corner. We have WWE Saturday night main event happening. The card is getting fully fleshed out for that. There's so much going on. So many names being thrown into the hat for the Royal Rumble. Maybe Ricky, maybe Dom Fisher will show up to the Royal Rumble and put our names in the hat. You know, we haven't been offered yet, but we're thinking about it. But I'm joined by my partner here, Mr. Dom Fisher. How are you, man?
We are back. Man, I don't know. I'm all right. I'm as okay as I can be. I would like to add that we saw what we saw. He did it twice.
Yeah.
And I don't have to say more. Y'all know what I'm referencing. He did it twice. And I don't think people realize it's a perfect example. Wrestling is a perfect example of what I'm about to say. You can smile in someone's face and hit them at the same time and mean both things that you're doing. Like, I could say, hey, I love you, and then punch you. Just because I said some nice words doesn't mean what I'm physically doing isn't a bad thing. So,
yeah, homie wasn't trying to join Farouk and everybody in the Nation of Domination, guys. He wasn't, I promise you. But yeah, this week's episode of Raw, the third episode on Netflix. The one thing I have enjoyed, I didn't get a chance to catch it live this week, so the replay functionality, man, it is so clean. Like what Netflix is capable of doing by putting it up that fast. And I'm watching it. I think it was 9, 10, 11. Like I was watching it periodically throughout the day. Easy to put on, easy to pick right back up. You're not getting flooded with a bunch of commercials. I mean, you obviously can fast forward. You can watch it on 1.5 times speed if you want to through some of the stuff. Like the technology seems like it has really benefited the show quite a bit. Raw as a broadcast, I can only imagine that there's only going to be bigger and bigger things coming for this relationship, especially as contracts expire in the near future. I mean, I see a forecast of we're going to throw all the old Raw episodes on here, and Dom and I might go back to day one from, WWE Raw from, Raw 1 and move on. I mean, I would love to do some sort of podcast like that, man. Put all the episodes of Raw available for us. But yeah, we had a big show. Lots of moving pieces, I guess you could say, because there's a lot of things were being set up. As I mentioned, we got Saturday night main event, which is this Saturday, followed by the Royal Rumble, which is the following Saturday. Like there's a lot of things going on. And
this was definitely like one of those, you know how people have we have those filler episodes in TV shows. This wasn't a filler episode, but this was an episode that was more, it was a lot of storyline, even if it was just momentarily, if it was 2 minutes, it was just a lot of setting up all the dominoes that are about to fall in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one thing. That's one of the biggest knocks I had of this episode, which it kind of felt like there was a lot of moving pieces for the episode. The episode kind of started off with a little Nia Jax attacking Rhea Ripley. Won't get too much into that. There's a little bit more substance of that with a match that we see later on thing. But we kind of saw that animosity building throughout the last week's episode and the week episode prior to that, as Nia Jax is roaming as a free agent or whatever, or transfer, or whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. We still haven't figured out what that exactly, we know what it means, but it really hasn't had any value, because it was Bayley is now on the show, but Nia Jax is still apparently a free agent or whatever, you know what I mean? So she's in the transfer window. I guess we're trying to be college football.
And poor Rhea, she stays getting jumped. She's been jumped 4 times in the past year. Like she gonna need a bodyguard or something. Keep your head on the swivel. She needs to learn. She grew up in Australia. You need to learn some fucking basic survival skill shit.
Right, yeah. And if she was in the wild, man, she'd be screwed. You know what I mean?
It's a wrap.
But obviously, we were missing Pat McAfee last night. He was at the college football playoff game. Wade Barrett did a pretty good job filling in. I do think that he's a little bit more of a, kind of that heel commentary. One of my favorite things of the opening aspect of the show was Michael Cole stepping in for the Pat McAfee and giving all the love to Jey Uso.
Dude, I love when Jay comes out, dude. Like, genuinely, I cannot help but like smile and be excited when he comes out because, like, you know, we had our Stone Cold and The Rock who were like people's champs, and we had John Cena, and Punk had a little run, and now it's Jay's turn. Like Roman was kind of up and down, but his was more like demanding of acknowledge him, right? And then now Jay is. The whole crowd is excited when he comes out. He was doing the little yeet with the kid, taking the pictures, like dabbing up the dad. Like, dude, it's fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, exactly. And then this week we saw Michael Cole filling those shoes, obviously, giving the love
offbeat
to
and everything.
Offbeat and everything, man. I loved it though, man. You know what I mean? I loved it. And then when he gets back to the commentator table, he's all like, "I'm fucking tired." You know what I mean? Like he's just exhausted. But we got a little promo between Gunther and Jey Uso. Obviously, the main part of this show was doing two things. We're selling Saturday Night Main Event for you to watch it, and then we're selling the Royal Rumble at the same time. This kind of sets this up. Gunther, Jey Uso, a little bit of what we saw last week, kind of a similar beat to that. But again, we got a little bit of blows back and forth here. Jay kind of got the upper hand, which I think is the right choice as we go into the show, because we all know I think Jey Uso's going to lose that match, but it's all right, though. Good moment. The more I see Gunther, the more I love this guy. I just think that he's an old school classic wrestler.
Yeah,
he's actually pretty solid on the microphone, and he knows how to be a bad guy. There's no riding that fine line with him, right? He's a bad guy. I'm a fucking bad guy.
It's perfect because like the way he set himself up is like, of course, like no nonsense. He hates that Jay is like, he calls him a mascot. He hates the showmanship. He's just like, I want to get in there and fucking beat ass. And it matches so well with Jay being like who he is, how his energy, and Gunther, like now, he comes out with the fancy suits on with the ankle cleavage and shit. And I mean that dynamic is kind of that perfect setup of like the superhero and fucking like Lex Luthor. Like,
yeah, exactly. And what I loved about it the most here was in watching it, it's like you're watching like an old school William Regal type character.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The mascot thing, I would love to find out who created the idea of calling him out as the mascot, because I thought it was brilliant. Because it is the way you see it. He's the hype guy. He's the guy that gets the crowd going, and he is that. But you know what I mean? There's more to the surface.
Called him I wrote it down. He called him a useful idiot.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude. Because he's like, you come to rescue for Roman and for Cody and for Sammy and your brother. And he's like, you're nothing more than a useful idiot. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah, when he said that, I was like, man, I'm going to fucking use that more often. You know what I mean? I got some of those that I know. You know what I mean?
I was like, shit, that cuts deep. And of course, Jay was like, you're right.
Yeah.
I am the mascot. But this is my team, to point to the crowd. That's my team.
Yeah.
That's my squad. And I was like, okay, I like that turn.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same thing kind of like last week. It was another twist in it. Let's get the crowd involved, because this is going to be very much, again, you're even seeing it in some of the matches, even like in your main event, the Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has garnered enough like respect from the audience that even people are rooting for him. Nobody in the crowds are going to be rooting for Gunther on Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like nobody. And I love that dynamic of this feud between these two guys. You know what I mean? I think it's a great setup. I'm actually excited about the match. Even more excited as you watch every time they're on the screen together. And then just a little bit of blows back and forth.
And it looks good with Gunther having the belt, because he's such a towering person. Yep. So him having a belt as being like, I don't know, what is he? He's probably like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, gotta be.
It looks good when someone that like menacing has the belt, and the good guy, the baby face are supposed to be going for. He's cut and he's built, but he's a little small. He's got him by a good 7 inches, 8 inches. Pause. So it's just
yeah.
It's a good dynamic.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down there. Not literally. All right. We had our first match on the card. It does seem like we were opening up with the promos, which I'm okay with, obviously, because I felt like this worked, right? This opening
Yeah.
worked. It worked for
Yeah.
me a lot. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a perfect opening. We got a little bit of New Day going on. Man, the hatred for them is phenomenal right now. Again, we're talking about good, bad guys right now. It's few and far between. Kofi Kingston and the New Day. I love the little entrance thing. JBL was there. I don't know
trying
why.
to give JBL $2 to talk them up.
Yeah,
yeah, I'd want to get rid of Big E too. He's got charisma and people like him. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this shit was hilarious. So obviously it's Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. New Day is over like Rover with the crowd being just they hate him so much. JBL was actually hilarious in commentary. No clue why he was there because I thought for some reason I thought he was going to get involved in this. I thought we were getting a clothesline. I thought maybe what is Kofi's tag team partner?
Xavier Woods.
Xavier, I was going to call him Creed because I was just wrestling him in the indie circle, but Xavier Woods. I thought he was going to get a clothesline. You know what I mean? Something. But I will say this: I died laughing at JBL saying that he never thought he'd root for a deadbeat dad. Talking about Rey Mysterio,
yeah.
Dude, I was dying, dude.
He's like, he's the worst dad in the world.
That was hilarious to me. I loved every minute of that. But to be honest with you, I don't really know what this match served its purpose for because it was an okay match, but like Kofi losing the match, I don't know what the purpose of that was. I know it led to the LWO coming out to the rescue, but then like Kofi and Xavier Woods, they get their get back a little bit by like pulling dude out of the ring. It just didn't make a whole lot because like we're pushing Kofi Kingston. I understand like as this big bad wolf and they're these heels and why are we losing matches? You know what I mean? Like and no offense to Rey Mysterio, but like why are we losing matches to 98-year-old Rey Mysterio?
And the way that they're doing, like first the New Day should like, if they're gonna turn heel, they need to change their name to something that sounds like a little more heelish. And they keep making them this kind of like I can't think of who it reminds me of, but it's kind of a losery kind of heel where like they are just like they're mad because no one likes them. They're begging for attention and respect. So you kind of laugh at them, but also they're still fucking badass dudes. So it's like I need it to be more cohesive a little bit.
Yeah, again, and I don't understand the loss here. The loss doesn't make any sense. We're trying to build them up as these big heels, and I don't think you do that again by losing. No offense to Rey Mysterio, but I mean, losing to Rey Mysterio doesn't help when you're at brand new point, even if you're getting your get back afterwards. But the weird thing about it is there was a lot of that. There was a lot of the get backs in this episode. You see it in the main event, and we'll talk about it a little bit here too. But next up with the Sami Zayn promo. He's in the Royal Rumble. Everybody, I think you literally could just walk out into the ring and just say, "I'm in the Royal Rumble now." Like, that's how nobody's wrestling for an opportunity in the Royal Rumble anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is me proclaiming, like, Ricky Valero, Dom Fisher, we're in the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? Put us in there, Triple H. This was a weird thing. Okay, so this was. He's in the middle of talking about he's going to be the Royal Rumble. He's going to win the champion, blah, blah, blah. He wants to be heavyweight champion. And then Kevin Owens comes out, interrupts, and he comes out, strokes his ego, talking about each other. They're going to face each other at WrestleMania. I'm going to beat Cody. You're going to beat this person. You were there for, who at Roman, and I expect you to be there for me type of shit. Like, is that supposed to be some sort of tease for us to see potentially what's ahead for the main event of Royal Rumble? Even though we know there's not a chance in hell Kevin Owens is going to win the match. So it doesn't make any damn sense at all. But to me, this just didn't make any sense. Like,
yeah, it seems like they're trying to piece together, KO, Sammy, and Seth all into a group because Sammy keeps having these back and forth with both of them. Apparently, Sammy's just a lovable dude because everybody wants to be his friend. And which makes sense to what he was saying, that he said that he's in the upper echelon. The only difference between him and the other guys that he doesn't have a belt, like a championship, world championship to his name. And the fact that all these guys keep coming to him, he kind of proven his point that he is an upper echelon. Like people need him, they want him, and I don't know what they're doing with the KO because you make him kind of this like unhinged person, and then all of a sudden he like is begging for help. I don't know. It's kind of weird because you would think that you would just kind of keep him, attacking people, going off the rails. I mean, he's carrying around a belt that's not his. So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It kind of felt like a scene just to get him on TV to remind everybody that he's going to be there Saturday night. He's going to be signed, which I hate the contract signing shit. Those things are so annoying. Like, what's crazy to me is this, and this is why I'm super critical of Cody Rhodes. When Roman Reigns was champion, all of his promos was, when I become champion, I'm going to be present. I'm going to be there. This guy has not been there. He hasn't been there at all. You know what I mean? Like, he was there for like 5 seconds on the opening WWE Raw, and he ain't been there yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on. All right. So then we had this is like the trend here. It was like match promo, but we had Bayley and Nia Jax. Obviously, Bayley's now part of Raw. Nia Jax is, again, like I said, she's in the transfer window. We still don't know what the hell that means. These two have wrestled each other quite a few times. They even said, I think this is like the 15th time they've wrestled each other, something like that. It was a solid match. It served its purpose. My biggest problem with this entire match was Bayley just transferred to Raw and now she lost, right? What kind of momentum does that give? I personally feel like this is how you end this match, right? These two battling it out. Maybe Bayley's getting the upper hand. All right, Nia Jax hits the finisher as she's getting ready to hit the pin. Then we have Rhea Ripley hit the ring and start beating the shit out of her. Disqualification. Nobody loses. Yeah. We're moving on with the night, right? And I think that's perfectly fit. Instead, we have Bayley lose, and then for some reason we have to hit the fucking music. We already know I was going to complain about that. We hit the music, and then of course she get the. Now, don't get me wrong. Everything after the match was fucking great. Pull apart. I love those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole thing, crowd was all in it. They were popping for it. These two are going to face off a Saturday night main event. But I just felt like you're burying the consistency here. Like Kofi Kingston losing didn't make any sense to me. Bayley losing doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, it just was a trend of stuff here.
Yeah, and I noticed too, over the past couple of weeks with Nia's matches, she only does really well with other women who are willing to be like brutal. Because Nia is strong, and I think people don't fully understand how strong she is, because when you're a taller, bigger person and you've carried around that weight for a long time, you're naturally just strong. And sometimes I think she forgets, because you'll see sometimes she'll put somebody a little too hard or throw them a little too far. But she always does good with Bayley. She always does good with Rhea, because they are also brutal type of wrestlers. They're okay with getting their shit busted open.
They're good with it because they're gonna give it. They're gonna give it back to her. You know what I mean? Like, they're not afraid. They're not afraid to give it back. Sometimes some of these younger girls are just kind of maybe a little worried about giving a little receipt, as we like to call it. You know what I mean? Rhea Ripley and Bayley are just not afraid to bam, give it right back.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the girls, and I get it, the way that the wrestling is set up now, they are afraid to like fuck their face up, right? That's what you're selling now. You're selling athleticism and beauty at the same time, so you can't really like. You can't fuck up the moneymaker, and I get it, but like, yeah, put it out there, man. Like, you see, Rhea ended up with like lipstick on her teeth because them hands was close, you know. Maybe they got to put some muscle on them. Even Tiffy. She's annoying to me, but she is not afraid to like get dirty. Like, she is going ham in there.
Land them punches, women. Land them punches, girls. Like, man, just get a little snug in there. You know what I mean? It's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Just you gonna walk around with a little bit of a busted lip or something? I mean, add some character to your name. You know what I mean?
Right.
We want to see these people beat the shit out of each other. But again, though, all the post match stuff, loved every aspect of it. Loved the breaking parts. Always love that stuff. Love jumping over the top of each other.
Yeah.
Nia looked like she killed a few of those guys, while Ripley. Right, Ripley, she just looks like she killed a few of them at the same time. So like that whole thing, I loved every minute of it. I love that Ripley's coming off as a fighting champion. She's like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to give you a title shot. I don't even, you know what I mean? I'm making the rules. I'm the champion. You get a title shot Saturday night.
I even noticed that when Bailey was getting into it with the woman from NXT, I can't remember her name, the one that was in the crowd who was talking shit. And I noticed that when she like hit her and she got picked up by security, she kicked like the woman beside her that was in the chair. I don't know if the woman was selling it or not because she was on the floor. But I was like, damn, hold up.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. The whole Chad Gable thing, trying to meet up with a luchador to beat.
He's like, I gotta beat one. Damn it!
I gotta beat one of them. That whole thing was funny as shit. I can't wait to see what all that comes to fruition.
Yeah, because Dom alluding to it makes it seem like he's seeing him on a wild goose chase a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and I like the Dom is like in this kind of like Jokerish realm where he's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let him get more personality and not just be the boy toy.
Agreed. Pete Dunne versus Penta. I don't have a whole lot to say about this match, other than I'm kind of irritated how it was cut short. Yeah. I felt like we had the Chad Gable and Penta match. They let them have their time, and it proved to be solid. Pete Dunne's a very good wrestler, stiff wrestler. I feel like he's probably in that same class as Chad Gable. So it's like, give these guys like 10 to 15 minutes, even 12 to 15 minutes. And I feel like they really could have brought something to the table. But for me here, I felt like the match was just too short. And because of that, I don't feel like anything really got going. The crowd is eating Penta alive. They really love this guy. and for rightful reasons, he's great at what he does. He's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it didn't really last long enough for me to have a lasting impression other than, give me more Penta.
Yeah, and I'm so tired of, and this is maybe just me. What makes wrestlers stand out, makes them memorable, is not just them, but their attire. And you got Dunn out there in just an old school, unitard, and I'm like, get him, like, he's too good of a wrestler to not have like something look cooler. He looks like a creative player, damn near.
He looks like a blanket creator wrestler. Like the guy that when you turn on WWE SmackDown, whatever the hell the damn game, WWE 2K27, you turn it on and you get ready to create a wrestler. That's what you start off with. Then you go into the characters. Then you go into who you're creating. But it's right there. It's like he's the beginning model of that.
Yeah, because he reminds me of like he wrestles like an Al Snow or Hardcore Holly. Or
he's stiff, he's strong, he's
and I wish, and I don't know if when's the last time they did. I know they do the street fight, but if you bring back like the hardcore matches and shit, oh dude, him and like Bron Breakker, and you have a lot of dudes who would thrive going back to that era, and you can still do it without it being like as bloody as it used to be, because people love tables, ladders, and chairs, damn it.
For sure. This was followed by yet another CM Punk promo. I mean, look, I'm already on record on how I feel about this, but the transgression of his promo should be studied. I'm just going to throw it out here because this promo was horrendous.
He tried to be like Jay. That's what his problem was. He was trying to be somebody else.
Yeah, what made him great on the mic was his unpredictability. There's nothing unpredictable about what he's saying on the mic. It feels like he is a talking cartoon now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sitting there yapping, and I'm not sure what, like, he's just he's selling things. He's never like that's not who his character is. His character is not to sell things. Like
he's a company
never
man
been
now.
that. Exactly. It's like a weird that's a company. He's a company man now. And that's something that you would have swore 15 years ago, he would have 10 years ago, 5 years, he would have never became that guy. And that's
he kept like, I don't care who I'll fight. I'll fight John Cena. Look at the camera. Hulk Hogan's
the crowd fucking booed his ass when they said John Cena too. You know what I mean?
Hulk Hogan's dusty ass. Look at the camera. I'm like, what are we doing right now, bro?
Yeah, that was
because he's been saying the same shit for like 3 weeks.
He won the match, and then it was like the same promo every week, except for
you see what I did? I beat his ass, and I'm gonna make history because I make history. All right, bro. Like,
exactly.
And I know part of it that I've noticed is that everybody's kind of reined in because you can't cuss. Like no one even says ass. Like I think the lack of them being able to go off emotion and energy is a little off because they can't cuss. Because whatever I don't know what the reason is because I've
seen half naked ass women on fucking Netflix. Why can't we cut? You know what I mean? Have you seen some of these movies they put on Netflix?
The kids got
the reality TV.
Have they heard how the kids cuss on damn games? Like they cuss more than we do.
My stepson curses louder than I do. You know what I mean? My daughter, I know damn well, be cussing on these streets.
Yes, I don't know why can't let them. Like, I feel like if they were somehow able to get Stone Cold to come back, he'd be like, "I'm not talking."
Yeah,
what's the point?
I'm gonna whoop your candy butt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
give me a heck yeah,
heck yeah. Yeah, and then we you know what? I'll tell you what. This match right here, this little tag team match of people I don't think I've ever really watched before. I knew the one girl was in the finals of the title match or whatever, but
this match was good.
Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective.
I hate Pure Fusion Collective's name. I think it's so stupid.
Listen, okay, so this was again, I'm getting reacquainted with some of these people. My watching of wrestling in the last few years has been watching shit on TikTok, and every once in a while I'll hear like oh man, there's a good promo out there. I'll watch the promo. To me, I had to stop and rewind 3 times to figure out what these people's names were. Finally, they put it across the bottom. I was like, wait a minute. Pure Fusion Collective? Like, am I writing this? Because I'm taking show notes for later on for Dom and I to break down the topics. And I wanted to make sure that I got this name right. I was like, Pure Fusion Collective.
I did the same thing.
What the fuck is that?
No. I was like, I hope y'all lose because your name is stupid. Exactly. Damage Control, cool as shit. And they even still control like a computer. Yeah. And I knew Dakota. EO is fucking badass.
Dog. I've EO Sky. Holy shit.
I know.
She literally this one match again. I don't really know EO Sky. I've never call me whatever you want to, but this impressed me. She was phenomenal in this match. She blew me away. I thought she was talented. I thought she was great. And then I left this thinking I want her I would rather have her wrestling Rhea Ripley versus the Nia Jax.
She had the belt at one point I think around SummerSlam.
Yeah,
she had the belt for a little bit.
Put it back on her. You know what I mean? She's bad, dude.
That's what happened with why Damage Control kind of broke up, I think, was Bailey had got set up and then EO ends up with the belt and shit. But I will say that Pure Collective, whatever the fuck, Fusion, PFC.
PFC, there we go.
I will say they're a brutal fucking bunch. Like, it was like watching DX. Like, they're just fucking throwing you across the damn ring. They're all fucking brolic as hell. And I was like, okay, I do like this kind of this dynamic. You have like colorful and cutesy, and then like security guards.
So for me, like really, like if I had to probably pick a favorite match on this card, it might be this one. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And I think it's the reason why is it because it caught me off guard so much. Like I wasn't expecting. I was like, first, I was so caught up in their fucking terrible name for like 10 minutes that I was like, wait a minute. This is a banger like that. And that Io Sky, she is like, again, I mean, I will be like ranting off the rooftops about her. If I don't see more of her in the near future, I'm going to be furious. Let's see. We got Darren Daran. Ikara Tazawi will win the Royal Rumble and defeat Cody at Mania and get the Oofa Loofa from Roman on match Raw after Mania. Not trolling. That's facts. All right, man. I'll take it. You know what I mean?
I do think Cody is bound to lose his belt. I don't think anybody wants to see him with it anymore. Like, I don't know, the hype around him being a champion.
He won it, and then it was like, oh shit, what do we?
Yeah, it was just like boom. Like at
what do we do now?
At least when Roman had all the belts, you saw him on a consistent basis. You saw them parading the belts, and then now you just see Cody in a suit randomly in the crowd or fucking walking around. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I just don't care. I don't care. I'm not a look. This Cena versus who? That's Cena versus who at the Rumble? At Mania. That's probably the most intriguing question.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I don't know. That's a good one. Because I hope it's not Punk. I'm tired of Punk trying to allude to Cena. No, fuck that.
I don't want Punk anyway.
Honestly, if he's gonna like go out, this is his last WrestleMania. I almost hope that they kind of bring somebody back, either the guest referee or maybe he's going to get somebody and then someone from the past comes and helps save the match and gives him the win. I need if he's going to go out, I need some kind of blast from the past to kind of juice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be a good match though. That's a really good question.
Yeah. I don't know what just happened. I lost you for a second. I don't either. That's yeah, exactly. Cena title run. I don't know. I think that's kind of forced. I don't want to see that. I don't think I want to see a Cena title run.
Oh, hold on though. But you could give him a little title run with like the Intercontinental title. You could have him and Braun, or if Braun loses and whoever else gets it, and then give him the belt for 2 title offenses. He loses to somebody in a crazy way. And
can I mention something about Braun? So you see him in the crowd. I think was it the first Raw, right? I think they had him in the crowd. I didn't know a whole lot about this Braun Breaker guy. I haven't really seen him wrestle a whole lot. I did not realize that he was not as tall or as big as he was, because when he stood next to Sheamus, he would look like a fucking midget.
His dad's short too, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I was just kind of also I realized earlier that his last name is spelled with 2 Ks, and that was just super weird. I just didn't realize that he was short like that. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that. Cody, I'm trying to. It's really hard for me to think that he's going to face anybody other than Roman Reigns.
I know,
which is weird. And I hope that it's not like that. I'm hoping that, what would be really cool? I think like somebody like Sami Zayn eliminating Roman from the Royal Rumble, kind of be like the fine. You got to give somebody a good rub by knocking out, Roman Reigns over the top rope.
You could get Cody versus Sami, and you end up in this kind of like, but we're friends type of thing.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of different avenues. And the Gunther one, man, I don't know. This is where I think CM Punk's going to come into play, and I hate it, but I don't know. He's going to be facing somebody of importance, and I just don't know.
Yeah, okay. Since next week they alluded to, and we saw like the little promo ad of Logan coming back. Give Logan a run, dude. Like, because I don't think Gunther can fully handle somebody like Logan, who is all over the fucking place, jumping off of everything.
But I just want. But my thing is, I want Gunther to keep the title for like ever.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Let him have a long title run, because I feel like he just is that guy. That's why, like, part of me is like, I kind of wish they weren't throwing Jay at him so early, because I feel like Jay would be like a perfect opponent at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? But they're setting up something. I don't really know what it is, but I'm going to be intrigued, because the Kevin Owens thing's going to play off into the abyss somewhere. Maybe you have Kevin Owens teaming up with one of the one of the Samoan dudes against maybe Sami Zayn and Jey Uso in like a street
And
fight at
Damian Priest has
WrestleMania.
to pop up somewhere too.
Yeah, we had Damian Priest in there somewhere. So there's definitely a lot of different, because Gunther beat Priest, right? That's who he beat for the title. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So there's a lot of names out there, and then of course we have two names we haven't talked about yet, and that's Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, which were in the main event. Can we please stop having Drew McIntyre lose, for the love of God?
I know.
But my thing is, obviously, we have the whole, what I like to call the get back, right? You know what I mean? The whole get back here. I agree with that as well. I don't think Punk will be in the main event this year. If he is, that's all he wants to accomplish. Nobody really can afford to lose Punk, since he's Raw is, Punk is, Punk, well, I'll say this, Punk used to be the best on the mic. He's not, he's a corporate man now. For me, these two are probably two of the top tier guys that they have right now. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, obviously, solid match. I understand that Seth Rollins won by a little roll up here. Again, why couldn't we just, I don't know what we could have done here. Maybe a disqualification. I'm tired of people losing matches that unnecessarily lose matches, and it was the entire card here. Bayley lost a match she didn't have to lose. Kofi Kingston lost. I don't even understand why he lost. Still befuddled by that. And now, of course, Drew McIntyre loses again. And if this is to build up for Drew McIntyre to win the Royal Rumble, I will take back everything I say after the Royal Rumble. But if for some reason he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, he's fixing to go ham in the Rumble. He's so tired of Roman and shit that I think I think there's two ways it can go. He either goes super hand, tosses everybody out, and you end up towards the end, a kind of face off, him and fucking Roman and Seth or whoever they want to put towards the end, and then let it go as it goes. Or he gets so overzealous by wanting to take Roman out that he fucking gets out quicker than he expects to.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so again, I thought it was fine. I didn't love the match. But the get back was fine, and then the setup with the Zayn thing was really cool.
Yeah,
when Zayn kicks Rollins in the face.
He kicked
He kicked the shit out of him. It was a perfect little setup to kind of further allude on what you were talking about earlier. It's causing dysfunction as we head into the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what a lot of this is as the Royal Rumble has always been coined, quote unquote, every man for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is alluding to. This is what we're building towards, and I kind of like that. So, but yeah, overall, I think you hit the nail on the head at the beginning of the episode. There's some good moments, but ultimately a filler show to head to Saturday Night Main Event, and I'm afraid next week's going to be a little bit more like that as we shift our focus into the Royal Rumble, which is the following week. The only things that we have announced for next week, for Raw next week, we have Logan Paul is coming back next week apparently, maybe possibly. He's coming to Raw now. That doesn't really surprise me. Oh, so wait a minute. It was announced that Paul will make his Raw debut next week. I'll probably just do a promo or something. Cody Rhodes is going to be there apparently, which he has to, in my opinion, I think he has to be. Yeah. We have the War Raiders versus Judgment Day with Dominic Mysterio stepping in for Finn
That's
Balor.
Going to be interesting too. I forgot about that because Dom decided to take Finn's place, and Finn is very finicky about how shit's run, and even Liv has said now you're the mastermind. What are you gonna do? So this is gonna be the possible explosion of Judgment Day. We could see Dom as an outlier, or maybe if they win and Finn comes back and is like, we did what you couldn't do, Finn gets kind of pushed to the side because he already talked about that he's a backstabber anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes.
So let me just say this, man. I don't really like these War Raider guys anyway. So they don't really do nothing for me. They really don't do nothing for me. So it is.
I feel like it's newer, right? I remember last time I saw one of the guys, he used to always come out in just the Viking shit. Yeah, and now they're bikers. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't really like these guys. I don't care for them. I don't think they're all that in the bag of potato. I don't, when they win these belts, what was this? Oh, they won them in December. It looks like they beat the
Yeah,
Judgment Day. Okay, so, yeah,
yeah,
hard pass.
because Damien helped him win.
Yeah. Hard pass on these guys. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not a big fan of them. So they're not for
I do
me.
like seeing a big round guy do a damn flip and high kick.
Me too. Me too. Me too. It would be cool to see a title change on Raw next week. I would say that. Give the belt.
Yeah.
I think you can't break up the Judgment Day quite yet. I think that you got to put a little bit more. Maybe you have that closer to like the Royal Rumble or something. Maybe you get a Finn versus Dominic match. Maybe you set that up or something like that. But yeah, I mean, next week we're gonna break down. Obviously, we'll break down some highlights of Saturday Night Main Event, followed by next week's Raw on Netflix. We're having fun here, hopefully providing some a little bit of entertainment in this dark world that we live in. But yeah, that is it for this week's episode of the Netflix on Raw podcast. Dom and I will be back next week.
Yeet.